Welcome to the Crown Sports Podcast. We are very excited to be talking Utah High School athletics with you. I'm your host, Brad Richins.
And I'm your co-host, Niko, Klus, along with our producer, Braun, Butterfield.
Niko, we are now going to dive into one of our favorite games that we'd like to play on the Crown Sports Podcast. It is swipe right or swipe left, and on this we'd like to delve more into issues in the collegiate and professional level. So, Mr. Klus, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Question number 1. We've seen how much the Los Angeles Lakers have struggled recently.
Boo.
Is LeBron James still the greatest player in the NBA? Swipe right or swipe left?
I like LeBron, so I'll swipe right, but his team, garbage. No two ways about it. He joined a team. He could have stayed in Cleveland and had the same players.
But he would have made the playoffs in Cleveland.
He would have made the playoffs. He would have been in the finals again for a 9th straight time. Now he's on the outside looking in because there's no way he's getting into the playoffs. They're literally down to impossible.
They have a greater percent chance to get the number 1 pick in the NBA draft than make the playoffs.
So is he the greatest player right now? Yes. Is his team the greatest? Absolutely not. They are horrid. And by horrid, I mean they are the worst. They lost to the Suns, for crying out loud.
And the Hawks and the Knicks.
So it's just...
And the Grizzlies, like teams that are trying to literally lose games, they're losing to.
And so, in reality, he didn't make the best choice in the offseason.
But you still think he's the greatest player in the NBA?
Yes, individually.
So I'm going to swipe right on this one as well, just because it's too early to tell. You know, my definition of best is different because if we're talking the most dominant player, it's the Greek Freak. But if we're talking one player, one game, I'm still taking LeBron.
Don't be ridiculous. They've lost 2 in a row to the Jazz and the Suns.
All right, next question.
Utah State, are they going to win a game or two in the NCAA tournament coming up?
So,
if they get in.
Yeah, easy swipe left. CBS Sports currently has them tacked as a 11th seed, which would pat them up against a 6th seed in the NCAA tournament. They had a really good game against previously ranked Nevada, number 12, at home up at the Spectrum in Logan. Sam Merrill had a really good game, but I don't see them, like, every team, like BYU beat Gonzaga a few years ago in Gonzaga. Like, every team has a win like that, but it was one time and done. If they make the tournament, I don't see them winning.
But that win put him in sole possession of first place in the Mountain West going forward.
Yes.
So, you never know. They could make a little bit of noise. You know, Bucknell won a few years ago when Jabari Parker was at Duke.
Yeah.
And it was like, where did Bucknell? Look at the name.
And so did Chicago Loyola last year.
Oh, yeah.
Going on a run.
We were riding that ship all March.
So, yeah, I'm going to swipe left. But, you know, I'd love to see the Aggies win a game or two in there.
I'll swipe left, too, just because, yeah, it's not likely, but anything can happen.
So, I've been covering Utah Valley just the last few weeks in basketball. They look pretty good, so begs the question, will UVU make the NCAA tournament this year? We know that they have to win the WAC tournament and get past Grand Canyon and New Mexico State. Swipe right or swipe left?
I'm a hard pass.
Hard pass.
Due to their recent history in struggling in the tournament, because I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, they went undefeated in conference play, got to the tournament and choked. I mean, they beat everyone, and then they just were like, we're going to walk to the tournament. And then they did not walk to the tournament. They walked home because they lost.
So New Mexico State is always the team that's pegged to come out of the WAC, and for good reason. They're a good squad. Coach Pope, I love what he's doing at UVU, and the Toulson boys, Jake and Connor, lead UVU. But, yeah, swipe left. I don't see them making the tournament, but it would be great if they did.
It would be great, but probably wouldn't happen ever again. Donovan Mitchell is having the best season out of all sophomore players in the NBA. Swipe left or right?
Swipe right.
Honest. Be honest.
That's my honest, objective opinion due to the fact that Tatum hasn't been that impressive. Kuzma has had his moments, but he's not consistent. De'Aaron Fox would probably be my number 2. But considering the fact that Donovan Mitchell has come on the last few months and the Jazz are making a playoff push behind him and his efforts, Donovan Mitchell's easily the best sophomore, having the best sophomore season.
What about Ben Simmons having a good third-year campaign?
Not even Ben Simmons, no.
No.
If we're gonna term him as a second-year sophomore, no.
But he was an all-star.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Still.
Donovan Mitchell's the real deal.
When he gets a jump shot, come talk to me.
When he can shoot out of the key.
Mm-hmm. But let me say, give credit to Ben Simmons. He is now shooting threes, which they need him to do at one point or another.
But you're in your third year in the NBA, National Basketball Association, and you can't shoot a three-pointer as a quote-unquote true point guard. Ricky Rubio can shoot a three-pointer. It's ugly, but he makes them sometimes.
And so can Donovan Mitchell. So, question Donovan Mitchell having the best season out of all sophomore players in the NBA? We're both swiping right.
Absolutely.
So, Niko, our interviewee this week comes from Emery High School down in Castledale, and she has been a part of the girls basketball program there for the last 3 seasons, in which the Spartans have only lost 3 games. Again, let me say that again. The Emery Spartans in girls basketball the past 3 seasons are 73-3. They are now back-to-back state champions after winning last season and capping off an undefeated season this year, going 25-0 and defeating Grantsville 59-31 in the title game. One of the 3 seniors who have committed to play college ball from the Spartans is Megan Jensen. She leads the Spartans she led the Spartans in scoring and averaged just over 16 points per game this last season. And that was 3rd in 3A. And Megan now joins us on the Crown Sports podcast tonight. Megan, welcome to the show, and congratulations on taking state once again this year.
Thank you. It's good being here.
So before we get into the nitty-gritty of last year and this year, you've been to the past 3 state title games, but your sophomore year, you lost in the championship game to North Sevier, and that was only the 2nd loss you suffered that season.
Yeah.
So in the locker room after that loss, what was the general feeling in the locker room, and what did you work on in the off season to kind of improve? What was your motivation after that loss in the championship game?
Well, I know that loss really hit the whole team really hard. Every single one of our losses, like you said, we had 3 losses, and we definitely remember every single one of those losses. We all took it to heart. I can't remember the exact feel in the locker room, but I know afterwards, like for me personally, that summer after we lost in the championship, I worked my butt off in the summer, and I pretty sure I didn't stop playing basketball until like a week before volleyball tryouts or a few days before volleyball tryouts. And I know during practice the next year when we were getting up to the state tournament again, I remember how hard the whole team was working and how much the team's pushing us, because I know we did not want to feel that pain again of losing in the state championships.
And what kept you motivated throughout the off season and during volleyball season? Was it just that loss that kept you motivated, or the feeling?
To be honest, yeah, well, both, I guess. I remember coaches always yelling, don't you guys want to be state champs, as we're conditioning after practice? And although it kind of hurt a bit, it was a great motivator to push and just to do our best in every moment we could.
And so, like I said, you won the last 2 state championships. Was the feeling different from winning the title this year to last year? And if so, what was the difference, would you say?
Yeah, it was way different. Well, we were way determined. We were determined both years, but I think we were extremely determined the next year for not repeating our sophomore year. But I feel like this year at the beginning of the tournament, we were all kind of felt a lot of pressure to do it again, because we all wanted to, but for whatever reason we felt a lot of pressure. But by the time I think the championship came, we just were enjoying every moment and just enjoying playing with each other, because it was going to be our last game with each other.
And throughout the year, you guys kind of blew everyone out of the water. There really wasn't that close of games. At one point, did you ever, get complacent, where it was like, oh, this is kind of easy? Or did you guys always keep yourselves motivated to want to be better?
Yeah, well, our coaches were extremely good at motivating us, because that's how we are doing so well. But anyway, we would set goals. Like you might have heard, our senior night, we had a goal to try to beat the record of points, the state record, which We all slightly felt bad for the other team because we respect them a lot, but we did our best. So we had just personal records, personal goals and things like that to try to get records. Yeah, I remember being a bit frustrated. I know all of us really want to play some 5A and 6A schools up there. We were all talking about how we want a tournament where they take all the champions of all 5A and 6A and 3A and see who the ultimate champion is, because I think we do pretty good there.
Well, you should never feel bad for beating a team so bad, because the goal is to score the most amount of points in the 4 quarters you have.
And
yeah, it's true.
that one thing we noticed is that out of all the 25 games you won, you went 25-0, obviously. Only one game was decided by single digits, and that was against the Beavers, and they always tend to give you a tough matchup. But you talked about playing 5A and 6A schools, and Emery is a 3A school. Did you like or dislike playing for a smaller community, and why or why not?
Well, I like it. I think I got lots of opportunity, and I love, there's no other community like ours that supports us so much. Like, everyone knows us, and it'd be incredible. Like, when we won the state tournament and we were coming home on the bus and the police escort, we turned around to see all of the cars behind us, and we could not see the end. There's so many people there supporting us, and it's just amazing how much love everyone has, and I love the small community.
That's something definitely we mentioned, is the support that Emery brings from its fans and its parents and the community as a whole. We were at the playing game for the South Summit and Emery boys down at Emery High School, and that's something we took away, is how many turned out and drove 2+ hours to watch that game. The whole stadium, the whole arena was packed, so we definitely agree that Emery brings it when it comes to supporting the teams of the high school.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And so, you said you wanted to play like bigger schools.
Yeah.
Did you feel like the bigger schools maybe don't, respect you guys as a program because you're such a smaller school? Because there's always kind of that continuity where like a 6A school will just be like, oh, you guys are just 3A, like you couldn't compete. But did you feel like you could compete with them and play with them at the highest level?
I think we can. Our team is, I don't know, I think our team's very good. There's some teams that we've played, I think it was Fremont, I think. Well, we played them over the summer and beat them, but there's teams that we went preseason and played them, and there's some teams that knew us, and so they prepared and we still beat them. But there's some teams that just kind of thought they were 3A, so I could tell they weren't prepared for us, so we ended up wiping them out. But I think if we went up there and they were prepared for us, it would be an extremely good game. I don't know, I just want a good game,
Mm-hmm. We've seen that you as a program, Coach Tuttle has built a truly dynastic situation with what the program is doing. 73-3 over the last 3 seasons is quite incredible. You've been to the last 3 state championships.
That's better than the Warriors.
Yeah, that's better than Golden State. What would you say the key to success has been for your team building that dynastic culture the last 2 or 3 years?
Well, I don't think I've known anyone with as much confidence. Like Coach T, he has so much confidence in me and the whole team. He has ever since sophomore year. I remember, actually freshman year too. I remember even the moment where he put me into the varsity game, and I was extremely nervous, but he had just so much confidence in me, and I owe everything to him for that. So.
And you're a senior, obviously you're graduating, and how do you feel the program is just headed straight up still, or is there going to be a decline, or is there just going to keep chugging on and keep winning?
It could really go either way, I guess. I know even if it does go down a bit, I know Coach T will build it back up, because he knows, because I think it'll only go down just because everyone else doesn't have as much, varsity time in the championship and stuff. But other than that, we have phenomenal players that are young that are coming up, and we have amazing coaches that can build it.
So you were the 3A tournament MVP, but you also had amazing teammates like Kinley and Caselyn Toomer, who were also on the all-tournament team, and throughout the season both averaged double figures. So what was it like knowing that you as the offensive leader of the team, you didn't have that much pressure to carry the load offensively because when you looked around, you knew players like the Toomer twins and others on your team could step up when you needed them. How was that, knowing that you didn't have to carry it all and that you had a cast to support you in all aspects of the game?
It was nice. There was times I wanted them to do even a little better, so they would stop double teaming me and double team Kason or something.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I didn't even really. There's some games I didn't even realize, how much above on offense with the point wise I had. But I don't know. I think our team's really just. I think making a cool pass is a lot better than getting a lot of points. So
that's a very humble
Unselfish
answer. Yeah, that's a good teammate. And the biggest part is, state championship. Only one team walks away with that throughout 3A. How was that feeling, knowing that your senior year you got to go out with a win?
Definitely good. It's definitely the best way to go out, but still wish it wasn't over. I don't know. I can't explain how happy I am. So.
Well, so going forward, you had 4 legit offers from universities to play college ball, and you said your final decision was between Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, and San Diego University in sunny Southern California. So, what helped you decide where to play college ball eventually at Utah Valley? Because you think about it, Utah has a lot of snow. It's especially at this time of year, it's really cold. And San Diego is sunny. It's a warm environment. So what was the biggest deciding factor in you choosing UVU over San Diego?
Well, it was a lot of little things. San Diego was amazing. I went and visited. And UVU, just the girls there, I felt like they're just amazing girls. And I've gone to watch a lot of games. And the more I go watch them and around them, the more excited I feel to be a part of that team. And just I think the school it's a great school, and then also it's kind of close to home, so I'll have lots of support still with my family, and I know my mom wants to come and watch as many games as she can. So
Parents always want to be there, especially when you're close. They just think that's quite all right. Mm-hmm. And going forward with your game, what are you most excited for going into the next level?
Different girls. I want to adjust and,
it's a hard question, we know.
Yeah.
I bet you're probably looking forward to the degree of competition.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, a competition. Yeah, and I can't wait to learn a lot more. I feel like I can still do better in my performance, and so I can't wait to be able to be taught more and just take every opportunity I can to progress.
And that we know that just like going from a freshman to varsity level, going from varsity to the collegiate level is very different in all aspects of the game. It's much quicker. The competition is much stronger. But for you personally, is there an aspect of your game you feel like you need to improve on the most before heading there in the fall?
Well, I'm working on getting stronger with weights and stuff, but yeah, the game's a little faster. I've worked a bit with my travel team, with Natalie Williams coaching, and that's a bit faster paced than high school also. And so it won't be too dramatic, hopefully, the adjustment, but I really can't wait for the fast pace. I'm okay with fast pace. So.
Megan Jensen once again on the Crown Sports Podcast, joining us tonight, the back-to-back 2-time state champion for the Emery Spartans and the reigning 3A tournament MVP. Megan, we appreciate you coming on the show tonight again, and we wish you luck going to Utah Valley University and going on to play college ball. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening into this week's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts.
We are on Instagram at Crown Sports Podcast and on Twitter at Crown Sports Pod. Production by Braun Butterfield. Artwork by TeeTops. Music by Niko, Klus, and Braun Butterfield.